If you are an estate or letting agency boss, especially if you've got quite a few branches, these last few weeks have not been particularly good. I'm here with John Paul from Castledene Group, 10 branch operator employing over 60 people. And I am using this opportunity to ask him what the hell is he doing so you guys out there in estate agency land can learn. So welcome, JP. Briefly, in a couple of sentences, tell us a bit about yourself, when you opened up your agency, and where you were up until 2 weeks ago.
2008 August, we set up a letting agency. Grew it quite steadily over the last 10 years. We now have 2,100 properties under management, sell about 500 properties a year, and 59, 60 staff. And up until 2 weeks ago, everything was rosy. We had several acquisitions. We were talking to people buying them. And then the goddamn coronavirus came in and it's changed the landscape somewhat.
Okay, so when did it all of a sudden get real kind of, oh, it's just the flu, don't worry about it too, actually this is getting a bit real? When did that happen? We're actually filming this on the 20th, Friday the 20th of March.
I mean, I'm always quite flippant about stuff like that. I'm an incredibly positive person. I take everything in my stride, and I'm very, very, well, I don't get stressed. I don't think I do, although my wife thinks I do. So when it first came out, I was like, it'll be fine. It'll be this, it'll be that. But I'm also quite a realist as well. And I do like looking at data, and I do like researching things. And it was probably the beginning of last week then I thought that this is really going to affect the market. And I think it was when people started making a few murmurings in government, and there was people being found with the virus over here, but a significant number being found for a good couple of weeks at the minute. And that's when I thought the stuff can hit the fan. So it was last week that senior management team met, and we've come up with various plans to implement at various stages once certain triggers are met. Okay,
so obviously some of this is commercial, but at the same time, I know you are a guru for estate agents, and you do help. Would you care to share what you know on a macro level, what those sort of plans are?
Of course.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, the first thing is we have literally several plans. It's not just one, it's not just two. We've got three main plans, A, B, C, if you like, and then there's various different iterations of each plan depending on what happens. So the first plan is literally cutting all the non-essentials. So, you know, again, I don't want to go into too much of the commercials, but they're nice to haves, not the must-haves. Some of the softwares that we use, the potential we might get some ROI, but we're not getting a huge amount. Maybe with a year or 2 years, it's worth having. But effectively, over the next 3 to 6 months, or however long these issues are, then we need to make some hard decisions. One thing I will say is we're not screwing over any SMEs. You know, we've got, it's not just us in this fight, it's every single business in the UK. And I think how we act in adversity will shine on us when we come through this. So to be blunt, if you're going to be a bit of a douche about it now and just stop paying everybody, then, you know, when the good times come, then you're going to, you know, karma can be a bitch, as they say. So all our smaller guys, our smaller suppliers and contractors are getting paid. The bigger guys, we're sort of having a look and either speaking to them, getting payment holidays, or, you know, just explaining that, look, you know, we're going to have to give notice. That's plan A. Plan B is things like shared working, no bonus, reducing hours, no overtime. We've already put a hold on recruitment, so we're recruiting for 4 people. We're not recruiting for them anymore. And, you know, people who are on probation who weren't performing, instead of waiting, you know, 2, 3, 4 months down the line, you know, we're either getting rid of them now, or we're putting them on like a month's notice or a week's notice. That's plan B. And plan C is redundancies. Hopefully it won't get to plan C, but you've got to be realistic about this, and you have to plan for the worst case scenario.
We're not talking whole stock redundancy. What basis will you actually make people redundant on? It's skills or attitude? Income?
Oh yeah, well yeah, it's got to be the income. So we've got a set level of income that we need. So it's look at it like this way. When you're going up the curve and you're growing as a business, you recruit based on set levels of income. So, you know, when you're earning 10 grand, you've got 4 staff. When you're earning 12, you hire one more, so on and so forth. When you get to 20, you might open another branch. It's also got to be the same sort of theory on the decline as well. So when that reduces, you don't keep the same amount of staff. You reduce when your stock or your income reduces, then that's the time to let people go. And there's going to be a tipping point per person. So, for instance, you don't necessarily let one person go who's producing 40% of the income when the other 5 people are only producing 40% between them. So again, you've got to be quite clever with it. You've also got the employment, the HR issues, and you've got to take your own advice, and there's several caveats on that. But you've got to have the income producers in the business, as long as you possibly can, because this will blow over. And what you don't want to do is got the knife out and start slashing people and cutting people and letting them loose far too early.
Do you think there has been some of that, or are we just hearing bad news?
There's been a lot of panicking. There's been a lot of people who have just slashed people, not just in our industry, just all over the place, and shut shops and all sorts of stuff. The one thing, or one of the things that give me solace and comfort about this, if this was just the estate agency industry, I'd be panicking. I really would. However, it's not. It's UK PLC. The government will and has to step in. So there will be help for everybody, grants, loans, whatever it's going to look like. And as you say, it's Friday the 20th, I think it is today. Is that right?
It is, yes.
20th, yeah. So, we're going to get some good news hopefully today from the Chancellor. There's going to be stuff next week as well to help people. The rumours they're going to pay a portion of the wages. There's grants, there's loans, there's all sorts available. So for those people who have let people go, again, it's all going to depend on the income and expenditure. People might have let them go, but that might not have anything to do with the virus as of today. It might be because the trading wasn't great for the last 6 months. It might be. But for those people who trading has been good and they have got a bit of cash in the bank and they're letting people go right now, I think that's a bit premature. We want to save people's jobs, and we're doing everything we possibly can to do that. We will hold on to them is common sense and business would allow.
How have you communicated that with your team?
Meetings, very open communication all along. Managers meetings, then that cascades down to the staff, and we said, we will update them as humanly possible. So the thing is, we're talking to our managers. I'm speaking to my managers pretty much on a daily basis.
Okay, and what's the feedback been from the staff? Have you had any staff? Because I know you've got, you're not directly responsible for the staff. You've got a couple of layers of management. Have you had any staff ring you direct, or was it just through the manager?
A couple, but not many, like 2,
Okay.
just because they've been with me for a number of years, and they've got my mobile, which I don't mind, and my door is open for everybody. And again, it's just reiterating this message: we are going to come out the other side of this. We are a good business. We are set up very, very well. Our main income comes from property management, and the main income of the property management comes from housing benefit tenants. So that is, at this precise moment in time, the safest type of property you can manage.
Almost makes DSS tenants now something that you want. Do you not think?
Yeah. Well, we've always been like that. I mean, you know exactly where I'm from, and very proud of where I'm from, working class, and it's all that community aspect of it. So, I wouldn't say that I foresaw this, but it's just a bit fortuitous that we've set up in an area where housing benefit is very prevalent, and that is our saviour.
So what's your area managers come back to you with the way they're feeling? Because if you think about it, they're not fee earners, are they?
No, but do you know what? I've got to praise them. They've been absolutely brilliant with this. They understand and know, because they've been in the business long enough. I think they've got trust in us. They've got trust in my ability as a leader. They've got trust in Adele's ability as a leader, and they trust in the decisions we're going to make. I think when you don't have that respect for the leader, and the leader isn't very good, then there's a lot of dubiousness going around. I think when they know that we will make every decision to be the best for the business and then them, then they don't have any issues with it.
So are you hoping that probably the plan B is where basically people almost go job share and split the job in half, but get half the wage?
We've already had it. We've had 2 people say they'll work for free for us.
What, without asking?
Without even asking, they volunteered it.
How does that make you feel that your staff are prepared to work for free?
Had I known that before I employed them, I wouldn't have paid them in the first place. If they'd have said that back then, no, I'm only joking. Oh, it's like so humbling. Like, it really does. If I had tea ducks, I would cry. But I'm a big northerner, so we don't cry where I'm from. It just makes you feel brilliant, and this just makes you feel that you've recruited the right people based on values. which is phenomenal. And you know me, Chris, I've harped on about recruiting people based on values for God knows how long. And we don't always get it right, but we absolutely have got it right now. There's been a couple of grumblings about, like, you know, home working and stuff like that, and when, how, why, you know, that's going to work. But not necessarily grumblings, but more along the lines of not knowing. And we've just said, look, we spoke to IT guys, we spoke to the phone guys, we spoke to the CRMs. It can happen. We've got the power packs to power up the VoIP phones. We've got the CRM systems are always being cloud-based, and we will literally pick up the computers and put them in your homes. We've got the communication channels and such of Zoom, and this is the worst case scenario, i.e. lockdown. This is a case of if we have to go from 60 staff to 30 staff or 40 staff or whatever. So we've got all the equipment there ready. It will not get to that. I'm absolutely convinced. But we have to have a plan C, D, E. Because if you don't and it happens, you're absolutely screwed. At least this way, we've got plans in place to prevent that and mitigate it.
Okay, so that's your internal stuff. There's a lot of agents pulling marketing and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's look at the portals. What's your? Are you able to talk about the portals and?
Absolutely, yeah.
Go for it. I mean, obviously, this morning Rightmove said they're going to drop 75% off their thing. Which, I mean, let's be honest, they nearly had their Ratner moment the day before.
Oh well, they've had the Ratner moment. That I have actually had it. Chris, 1 second. My Mac's going to go flat. I'm just going to put my battery in. 1 second.
Pro.
Here we go. And he's back in the room. I mean, yeah, they did have the Ratner moment, and there's Facebook groups set up to fight against them. I know probably 40, 50 agents who put the notice in. Now, don't get me wrong, the PR spin crap that will come from Rightmove will be that nobody's put the notice in and we've gained more subscribers. We all know that's BS. Whoever said that thought that was a good idea, giving everybody a 250 quid discount. Really is very, very poor at PR. It's a little bit like when the tenant fee ban came in and then they put our prices up by 10, 20%, depending on who you were and where you were. They've done the right thing now. They've apologised. They've misread the market. They've misjudged the attitude and aptitude of everybody, and they've come back with a better offer. But if I'm honest, the damage has been done. Zoop has played a PR blinder and coming back and saying, we'll give you 9 months free if you leave them.
Some people don't like that. They see it as a bribe.
It is a bribe. I'm an estate agent. You're an estate agent. I say, come with me. I'll give you a 3D tour. It's a bribe. You charge 1%. I charge 0.9%. Come with me. I'll give you 0.8%. It's a bribe. It's an ethical bribe. When you're in sales, you bribe people to come to you. Yes, you can give them the BS about you give them value, but your value is a bribe in order for them to give you their business. Everything's a bribe. If you want something, you've got to give something in exchange, fair exchange. That is a bribe.
So are you coming off Rightmove?
We've come off Rightmove for all our lettings, yeah. We're only on them for a couple of sales, and we're just in the phase now. We've gone on with Zoopla for those branches, and then we're just in the data gathering phase at the minute, which unfortunately, because of this virus, will probably extend another 3 to 6 months so we can get quality data rather than skewed data. And then once we've got that data, then we'll make a decision after that.
Okay, so what are you actually going to be? I know you've got obviously some ongoing sales, which I assume your sales team will continue to chase.
Yeah.
But what are you on? And I doubt there's going to be many tenants moving. Doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you going to be filling your letting next days and your sales next days?
Prospecting, and more prospecting. So tidying up. Go on.
Pick the phone up saying, "Hi, do you want to sell your house?" That's going to go down like a rat down a drain pipe.
We're not asking to sell the house. We're asking how they're feeling. Is there anything we can help with? What can we do to help you through this difficult time? Do you need anything from us? So we're just trying to have really nice conversations with people.
What even goes as far as saying, if you do you want to go shopping for you and get you some loo rolls?
That's good. That's going on our Facebook this afternoon. So you laugh, but that's exactly what we're doing.
You see, here's a big tip for you. Why don't you pardon me. My advice to agents would be to actually find out someone that does need loo roll.
Yeah.
Go and buy it and film buying it and then actually taking it to the property. I think it would be a bit silly to open the door, but you could say, I've got this lady here who's on her own and she's run out of loo roll and I'm taking it here. What's your thoughts on that?
We're partly doing that. I think you need to do it because you want to do it, not because you want to film it and get it on Facebook. I think that's sort of that's a little bit like bragging about how much you give to charity. If you need to brag about that, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Okay. We if we could get away with not putting it on Facebook, but still getting a message out there, we would do that. But in order to do that, we need our message to be shared, because there's a lot of people who need it, who are self-isolating, won't have access, as in like the older generation.
So here's another idea. You could almost say, does anybody know anyone who is self-isolating that might be technology? Yeah, as opposed to saying, give us a call if you need some help.
Yeah. That's absolutely what we're doing. So it's going on Facebook. Well, we're doing both. So it's to get the message out there. So again, you know yourself, the more marketing channels and communication channels you've got more chance of getting your message out to the masses. So if we put it on Facebook and we're phoning people up and we're building those relationships. So this is a difficult time for everybody, for agents, for suppliers, for industry trainers, for you name it, everybody. If you can behave with integrity and according to your values in difficult times, then people will see that and they will give you their business and reciprocity. Give you reciprocity in when it's the good times. So don't be a dick in bad times, and you'll get paid back in the better times, and this will come out. So our theory behind it is do the good stuff when you've got the time to do it. Do you know what? I'd love a team of people in a call center phoning people up, asking how they are. Can we help? What do you need? Let us help you. Blah blah blah. I'd love that. Can't do it. Not cost effective. Not economical. Don't have the time. So when the guys have got the time and they're going out there and they're trying to help people, and we genuinely are meaning, we mean it, then, we've done this for 3 months, say 4 months, and it's just a weekly, fortnightly phone call with people who really need it, want our help, want our sort of support. Do you think they're going to keep quiet about it? We will probably have spoken to them more times than their own kids, probably, in a nutshell. So when it is time to sell the house, or they start talking about, oh, you need to go see that John at Castledene, I spoke to him 5 times when I was self-isolated. It's a nice thing, but if you get some feedback off the back of it and you get some business, and I don't see the problem with that. If it's keeping people in jobs, brilliant. If it's helping people and added value, brilliant. And if it gets us business in 3 to 6 months, brilliant. It ticks every single box.
What are you doing with regard to any marketing or anything to do with that?
Stepping it up.
Stepping it up?
Yeah. We're stepping it up. We're not Spectre. We're a big fan of that. We're not getting rid of that. A lot of the stuff, the Valpal leads, we're not getting rid of that. You do some stuff for us as well, so we're keeping that. Although I'm going to get you down on your price. No, I'm only joking. No, we're going to keep on using you. All the other social media, we're stepping it up. So we're putting more videos on. We're trying to help more people. If you have a look today, there's two videos. There's one. There's a picture of me with a friend of mine who I've known for 20 years. He's a graphic designer. He owns a pub, and unfortunately, pubs are shutting, so his livelihood's going. But he's an incredibly talented graphic designer. He's the one who came up with the Castledene logo back in the day, and then when he got his business, he went his way, and we continued on. So I've gone to him and I said, "Look, do you want to do some design work?" Very proud Northerner said, "I don't want your charity, your big so and so." Said, "It's not charity. I definitely need your work." Brilliant. I said, "Well, listen, why don't we take a selfie, put it on our Facebook page, and we'll just say, talented, blah, blah, blah." So we've done that. Another girl, Louise, who you met, she came down to your course in Grantham. She's gone and done a minute video with a nice little coffee shop around the corner, who unfortunately is having to close the doors, but they're still going to be doing deliveries. So we're promoting that. The other brands are doing the same, and we're just doing hashtag small business stick together, hashtag small businesses. Mm-hmm. So it's helping people. So they're going to share it on their Facebook. It's going to help it. So, Steve's pub's going to open again. It's crazy busy. It's ridiculous. It's the busiest in the area by a country mile. Great beers. The Black Bull in Trimdon, if anyone's passing, you'll plug that. But it'll open. So who's Steve going to talk about for selling houses if the 400 or 500 people on a Friday night come in and someone says, "Oh, I need to sell my house"? Yep. I've helped him make out. I've given work. I've got some top quality design work. and I'm going to get houses off them later on.
And how are you feeling taking the responsibility of your family and 60 people's lives?
Fine, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. Bring it on.
There's a
Really don't care.
big words, mate.
It is, but I'm fine with it. I just found out last night I've got a hernia and I need an operation on it.
Have you had a wobble or?
Nah. Nope.
And what would you say to someone who is having a wobble?
You're not alone. Don't believe everything you hear on Facebook, because there's a lot of people who are saying business is great and businesses was smashing it, stuff like that. Don't believe that, because that puts, when you hear that, that puts you down a lot. Just be realistic, have a plan, and things will get better. But things don't get better with it on hopes and dreams. You need to put them plan into practice. I posted something the other day, and there's a really good quote by General S. Patton, that says, a plan violently executed today is better than a plan executed next week. So whatever plan you've got, absolutely put it into practice as of today, and we'll get help off the government. Don't worry about that. They can't leave so many businesses, stuck. The forums are great. Your forum is absolutely fantastic. Landlord and Farming Foreman forum on Facebook. You've got Mind the Agency, Growth Strategies. There's some really, really good content and people out there as well. And we just need to be, we're all better together than on our own. And this is where petty squabbles and petty geographical territories, and I'm on Rightmove and you're on Zoopla, so we can't like each other, or you deal with this and I'm on this forum, so I can't deal with you. It's all rubbish. Put it aside, work together, and stop. Just work together to try and get through this, because we will get through this together. Thank
you for your time today, John. I'm sure we'll be doing more of these because we do like a bit of banter and a few palmos, which is, for anyone not watching, it's basically a chicken escallop covered in bechamel sauce with lots of spices on it. It's quite interesting.
Tap on a plate.
Oh, well, when this is all over, we'll have a few glasses of refreshing beer or gin and tonics and a palmo. Not that silly hot sauce though, because that was stupidly hot. Anyway, this is boring other people. So thank you for your time today, mate. And hopefully we'll do one of these soon. Thank you.